Bulletcast for life.
Get up, this is a revolution. This is our time to rise. Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes. We are the elite, and you are the weak. No matter how hard I fall.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Bulletcast. It's your boy, Brandon Tanguma. Apparently, I am hosting today. This is episode 190, and sitting virtually beside me, my lovely and esteemed co-host, Phillip Antoine. Phillip, you have so many nicknames, I can't run them all down. Whatever, Podfather and Microphone Messiah and all these other things. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. It's Thursday. You know, we normally do this on a Thursday after an AEW Dynamite. And, yeah, man, you know, it's going to be kind of a short show today, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I have other things to do. So we kind of have to boom, 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 Brandon. We got to boom, 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 boys.
Oh, you're telling me that I got to rush through everything? That's something very hard for me to do. But I will try my best.
Absolutely. So,
if you want my long form opinions, you can go to Curveballs and Share Shots, dropping on Friday. But anyways, we're going to talk some SmackDown first. We got Bayley attacking Sasha. Once again, Sasha comes back after her long-awaited return after being gone for like a week or two. She comes back, has a heartfelt promo, and then Bayley attacks her yet again. Phillip?
Yeah, I thought it was too soon for Sasha to come back. I mean, Bayley's defending the championship at Clash of Champions this Sunday against I forgot who she's.
Vicky Cross.
Vicky Cross, yes, absolutely. Shout out to Sean Stewart. He's doing well, by the way. Yeah, you know, I thought it was way too soon for Sasha to come back. I would have liked her to be gone for like at least a month and a half to two. I think Sasha may cost Bayley the title. I don't know. So that's going to be something interesting to check out this Sunday.
Phillip, does someone have to change the batteries in the smoke detector?
Yes, I do. I really do. It wasn't that bad until I hit record.
Anyways, on the WWE Network, they have multiple documentaries that you guys should go and check out. But one that they just released was Cena versus Edge Untold. And your boy actually watched this. Not because Phillip told me to, because I went out of my way to watch it because I was so intrigued to watch and see what was going down. So, as you would know, Cena and Edge, it all started at New Year's Revolution 2006. Edge cashes in, and they just kind of go through the little program that they had. SummerSlam, culminating at Unforgiven of that year. It's only a half hour, so they don't really get too much in-depth into it. You get John Cena in his now corporate tuxedo, or not tuxedo, but in a suit, has the long hair. It's kind of weird seeing John Cena like that, but I thought it was a good documentary. I think having John Cena's dad in there, I wouldn't have done it. I think he's kind of a clown, as they kind of talked about in the Edge segment where they went to West Newbury and went to act with John Cena's dad. I mean, John Cena Sr. is an old school carny, so I mean, you kind of got a little bit of that in the documentary.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was okay to have John Cena Sr. in the documentary. You look at it, and Edge and Lita going to Cena's home was a very integral part of that rivalry. It really upped the ante for me. I remember watching that as a kid, and he slapped his dad. I'm like, oh snap! Like this is really, business is about to pick up. I mean, it all culminated at Unforgiven 2006, which we're going to talk about later on. In the show, I don't want to get too touchy on that, but all in all, I thought it was a great documentary. I love the Untold series. I think I like it better than the Timeline, because you get the people who were involved in this rivalry getting to really talk about the ins and outs. Edge, we talked about the custom rated R championship that he had made. You saw the sketch, and then somebody already made like a gold one, and Edge threw it up on his Instagram. So just a lot of really cool stuff in the ins and outs. Found out Edge hated the spinner belt. I'm like, oh my God, really love the spinner. I love that thing. But all in all, I think it was really good. And then, they picked this rivalry back up 3 years later in 2009 from WrestleMania 25 up until I think it's One Night Stand. So a couple months in 2009. So I'll go on a record and say that Edge is probably Cena's greatest rival. You could make the argument for a Randy Orton, absolutely. People will say CM Punk, but there are others that'll say maybe those are just more matches. But I mean, I'd consider Punk a great rival of Cena's also.
I would agree with you. I would probably say Edge would be Cena's greatest rival. I think the longest rivalry, as you said, obviously Randy Orton. And I think the best feud was CM Punk, Summer of Punk and everything like that. I mean, the documentary is only a half hour, so you can't really get too much into it. I did learn some things because I was watching at the time, but it was 06. I can't remember everything. And I honestly forget about the TLC match and even the SummerSlam match. Like, I just kind of remember Edge cashing in, some of the other Edge things that he did, but I don't really remember the matches that went along with the feud. So that was nice to see.
Also the live sex celebration.
Your boy definitely remembers that.
Yes. My mother covered my eyes. How could we forget? Never forget.
I don't think my mother covered my eyes for that, but my mother did cover my eyes for the Katie Vick segment. Always remember that.
Oh, God. Talk about that at another time.
We have some sad news to talk about. Road Warrior Animal passed away at the age of 60 yesterday. His family came out and announced it. Pretty surprising news. I didn't hear anything about his health being in jeopardy. I think we still don't exactly know what happened to him, but the Road Warriors, one of the best, most dominant tag teams in all of professional wrestling. We talked about them a few months ago because they had the Dark Side of the Ring documentary. So we can rehash it a little bit again. Phillip, just your thoughts of what when you heard the news, and any thoughts on Animal or the Road Warriors in specific.
I mean, man, I was kind of half asleep when my mom told me he died. I was like, wait, what? I popped up. I checked social media. Shocking, man. I mean, 2020 is a MFer, man. Really, I mean. We saw him. I know you saw him last year walking around at StarCast. He looked pretty healthy. He looked like he was in decent shape. I mean, just obviously the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, one of the greatest tag teams ever. They're probably in the conversation of greatest tag team ever. I think we should do a top 10 tag team sometime later on. By the way, but I mean, it's just it's heart wrenching, man. I mean, you talk about pops in wrestling. Austin had the pop, but then there was the Legion of Doom. There was a Road Warriors pop. And I want to run down some matches for you guys to watch of the Road Warriors. So in WWF, it's them versus the Ultimate Warrior and Demolition, Saturday Night's main event 1990. From the NWA, they go up against the Steiner Brothers at Starrcade 1989. WCW, them versus Harlem Heat from a Nitro, February 26, 1996. The AWA, they're going up against Larry and Kurt Hennig. Portland Wrestling 60th Anniversary Extravaganza. And then an honorable mention is them versus the Hart Foundation, the WrestleFest 1991 VHS. That might actually even be on the network, but it's unbelievable. RIP to Road Warrior Animal. He and Hawk are finally reunited under these sad circumstances. Heaven, they just gained one hell of a tag team, and they have one hell of a roster, What are your thoughts on their tag team finish, the Doomsday Device? Animal hoists him up on his shoulders, and Hawk just comes flying. People were afraid to take the finish back in the day, so if they ever ended a match with something different, it's because the person didn't want to take it because they were too scared.
It's one of the most famous finishing moves, just in all of wrestling, not even tag team finishing moves. And if I remember correctly, Vince McMahon, one drunken day at the bar, asked the Road Warriors to perform that move on him because, it's Vince McMahon and he ain't no ish, if you know what I'm saying. Absolutely.
We actually have a fan mail about Road Warrior Animal. Jack of all trades. Guys, my buddy Jeff and I separated my brother's shoulder with a Doomsday Device. Jeff was Hawk soaring through the air, and I was Animal hoisting my brother up on my shoulders. It was so cool until Mom came home. R.I.P. Animal. There will never be another. Road Warriors ride again. Absolutely. R.I.P. Road Warrior Animal. You'll be dearly missed.
Yes, and I would definitely suggest you guys to go out and look at the 80s stuff. I know a lot of you guys might know the WWF stuff from the 90s, but the Road Warriors were definitely literally a different animal back in the 80s. They were, as you said, Stone Cold. They had the big pops, but literally it was termed the Road Warrior pop when people would just absolutely lose their minds. So, moving on from that, Phillip has some things he wants to get off his chest because Dave Meltzer has ranked the parking lot brawl ahead of some marquee memorable matches that Phillip, I know, has a soft spot in his heart for.
So, Dave Meltzer said that Santana and Ortiz versus the Best Friends parking lot brawl was better than these matches. Sting versus Flair, Clash of Champions. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. We all know how I feel about that. Taker versus Shawn, WrestleMania 26. Brett versus Owen, WrestleMania 10. Hardys, Dudleys, ENC, WrestleMania 17. Guys, look, the match, it was cool, you know? Santana and Ortiz, they got to be shown in the best light, possibly. But, look, I mean, come on. You look at all these legendary matches. 10, 15, 20 years from now, we're not going to be talking about this parking lot brawl. We're still talking about all these matches on this list. Why? Because they were legendary and memorable. That's just it. It's just it. Big Dave's drinking too much of the Kool-Aid or whatever they serve in catering at AEW.
Are you saying he's joined the Dark Order because he drank some Kool-Aid?
No. See, the Dark Order, we're too good for Big Dave.
I don't know exactly what the star ratings are, but star ratings are all, subjective. I would have put it at like a 4-star match, but all those matches that you brought up, I would put them ahead of the parking lot brawl. I'm not going to get too heated about it. I'm sort of a pseudo or a de facto, I would say, Dave Meltzer supporter on this, even though I'm not the biggest fan. Shout out Wade Keller and the Pro Wrestling Torch. But, I mean, I'm not going to get too hot about it, but this ain't a good look. I will say that. If this is true.
It's not a good look. That's not.
Anyways, what is a good look is we have some more wrestling weddings in the near future. Unfortunately, we have the pandemic going on. We probably were going to have some wrestling weddings, some real-life wrestling weddings during the summer, but those have been put on hold. We're going to have another one because Kylie Ray has gotten engaged with another wrestler I do not know the name of, but Smiley Kylie is engaged, Phillip. Are you happy? You sad? Conflicted?
Absolutely. I saw the engagement photo. That's the biggest smile she's ever cut. Congratulations, Smiley Kylie. I'm happy for you and all your success and all your happiness.
And then moving on, we have the debut of Uncool with Alexa Bliss, Alexa Bliss's podcast. It is also on the WWE Network if you'd like to go and check that out. And I believe, I didn't watch it, but I did see like the thumbnail or whatever for it, that my boy, Lance Bass from NSYNC, is on the podcast.
Yeah. So she released 2 episodes or WWE released 2 episodes on Tuesday. First one is The Miz. You could actually watch that on the network. Lance Bass was the second episode. He's not with the company, so you couldn't watch it. I haven't heard it yet, but Brandon, big NSYNC fan, ladies and gentlemen. First concert you ever went to?
Well, if you want to be technical, the first concert I ever went to was a Pink Floyd concert when my mother was pregnant with me, but my real actual concert that I saw live in person, yes, was NSYNC, I believe, 2002. At the Coliseum. Fantastic concert.
I mean, I might be, I don't know. I might be more of a New Kids on the Block guy. I don't know.
Justin Timberlake needs to fall off so NSYNC can get back together and go on tour.
Whoa. Justin's like Michael. But then again, the Jacksons did reunite and Justin may have a bigger ego. I don't know. I would be down to go to an NSYNC concert. I'm not going to lie to you. If they do reunite, you want to go? I'll buy the tickets.
I mean, if you're saying you're buying the tickets, there's going to be a lot of foxy ladies there who are going to try to relive their prime at the NSYNC concerts, which I ain't mad at.
I'd pay good money to see that. Absolutely, man.
We got some NXT news to talk about. They had the Gauntlet Eliminator match, which, as a Gauntlet winner, I know a thing or two about gauntlets. And the person who started the match was Kyle O'Reilly and Kushida. Kyle O'Reilly went all the way through and won the match. So Kyle O'Reilly is your new number 1 contender for the NXT Championship. I have been a big proponent of Kyle O'Reilly. I know everyone loves Adam Cole. I love him too. But I think people sleep on Kyle O'Reilly. He can be a big, big star. And so I'm very excited to see him get this singles push. Also, babyface push. We can talk about Undisputed Era a little bit later about how there's 2 babyface and 2 heels on the team. But your thoughts on Kyle O'Reilly being the number 1 contender to challenge Finn Balor for that NXT Championship?
I didn't see the match, but when I saw the news, I was actually kind of shocked. I'm like, oh wait, what? Because I heard about the Gauntlet match. I didn't know who was in it, but I'm happy for him. I mean, you forget this guy was the Ring of Honor World Champion. He and Adam Cole did battle for that title inside the Tokyo Dome at a Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, for the last couple of years, he's been subject to tag teams, whether it's with Cole, Fish, or Strong. But I'm happy for him to get some singles action. I know he and Finn are going to tear it up at TakeOver.
All right, this match should be very, very good. We thought maybe there was going to be a Kyle O'Reilly-Tommaso Ciampa feud because Kyle O'Reilly doing a very babyface thing and telling Tommaso Ciampa to not beat up Jake Atlas in the parking lot, even though that's something the Undisputed Era does all the time. but we will have to stay tuned and find out what happens with Kyle O'Reilly later on in the future. I do not think he's going to win, but I think this match will be damn good. This day in wrestling, we have a lot of news to get to. We got Hillbilly Jim making his WWF debut in 1984. Greg, the Hammer Valentine, wins the Intercontinental Championship in 1984. We have an In Your House 3, 1995. Unforgiven, 2000. There was a Smackdown on 2002. TNA No Surrender, 2006. No Mercy, 2007. And happy birthday to Sonya Deville, Shane Thorne, or what name is he going by now?
I don't know. We're gonna talk about that.
Anyways, maybe part of Retribution, neither confirmed nor denied. And the princess of WWE, Stephanie McMahon, is 44.
Absolutely, the $1 billion princess. You know, she became a Dairy Queen when Angle poured the milk on her. A couple things. So the In Your House, it was In Your House 3 that happened in 1995. It was the winner take all. It was Diesel and Shawn. Diesel's the WWE champion. Shawn's the IC champion. They're going up against Yokozuna and Owen Hart, who were the tag team champions. And, of course, Diesel and Shawn win, so they hold all the gold. That was a super cool thing that happened there. And then moving on with the oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know what the hell that was. The Unforgiven in 2000, I think The Rock, he won like a fatal four-way to retain his WWF title. So a lot of cool things happened there, man. A lot of good stuff.
Is that the Unforgiven where The Rock cuts his memorable promo where he just buries everybody in the match? Or is that a different match?
It might be. It might be. No Mercy 2017. That's when Cena lost to Roman. He passed the torch, so to speak. That happened in LA. It was all right. It was okay.
I was almost gonna go to that show because I was expecting a big things to happen. Luckily, I did not because that match was a little disappointing, or a lot of disappointing.
Yeah, it didn't move the needle for me. It didn't.
So, Philip, do we have any fan mail to get to?
Yeah, we do. I read one. We didn't get a lot today. But your boy did write in.
Who is my boy?
Who 420?
Who?
There we go. Mate's Retribution seems like a waste of time and talent already. And Rollins running back the illegitimate child storyline with Mysterio. I like that. I mean, we're going to talk about that in a quick little minute, and then let me hit the Bullet Cast DMs on the gram of Insta. All right, Embratis Day X.
Mr. X.
First off, RIP to Animal, one half of the greatest tag teams of all time. Him and Hawk are getting the Road Warrior pop in heaven right now. Absolutely, dude. Slapjack, T-Bar, and Mace. Slapjack, T-Bar, and Mace. Keep saying that over and over until it makes sense. It's been 4 days and I still can't wrap my head around it. Dude, I don't know. Slapjack was actually the name of Stevie Ray's finisher when he used to wrestle, so that's actually funny to me. It was a modified pedigree. Let me see. Is there a reason why WWE pay-per-views don't feel special anymore? Because they have one every month, which forces quicker storylines and payoffs, which they go to the big four only. You have anything about that, Brandon?
I definitely do think that there are too many pay-per-views. I mean, we literally saw one a week after SummerSlam, which the main reason was just to get the title on Roman. I don't know, pay-per-view clearance and whatever has to do with that side of things, but I do feel as though AEW has the right policy. You have 4, 5 pay-per-view special events go on. It makes them feel special. And it also makes your television feel special because they can have a title match. You can have a big blow-off feud like the parking lot brawl on there. WWE, yes, you have 5 hours of main roster stuff to put on. But if you didn't have the pay-per-views every month, you can have them every maybe 2 or 3 months. You can save those pseudo lower bar title matches and put them on Raw and SmackDown and maybe draw some sort of rating and some interest in the product.
Dude, why don't they just do kind of go back to the 80s model? Like, I mean, we have Money in the Bank now, so we can have a big 5. We can have 5 Rumble, Mania, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. We can have that, sure. But, I mean, you do like a lot, like a Saturday night's main event type deal on the network, a special. It doesn't have to be a big crowd. It could be a smaller crowd. Just here and there in between stuff. Because you look, Money in the Bank's usually like June, and then you have all that break in between August. So you can do like little stuff like that between August and Survivor Series. That's a long gap. You can do like something like at the tail end of September, early October. Do little things like that to make it feel special.
The thing is with Raw, 3 hours, it's hard to, not have your champion on every single week and not do something every show. That's why I really like the Dynamite format. 2 hours, not everyone has to be on every show. I mean, Cody was gone for 5 weeks, and he might have been missed a little bit, but it's not like there was big gaps and we were not enjoying Dynamite regardless. So you definitely could see that formula. I wish WWE would cut Raw to 2 hours. Probably not going to happen, but it's fine, I guess. It's not fine, but I keep telling myself it's fine.
It is what it is. I mean, Moxley's not there every week. Like, you have to look at people back in the 80s. How many times did they actually see Hogan? They saw him like once a month or once like every 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
That's why I like this Jey Uso storyline. You don't need to have a WrestleMania main event every month. You can have someone on the lower card, mid card, get a little bit of traction, fight for the title, and lose. And that's one of the reasons why I really like this feud, because you're not burning something big later on down the line.
Absolutely. Fight for the rights of every man. Yep, there we go.
Did we get another email? I heard your phone go off.
Oh, that was my mother's phone. That was not me.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so let's get into the Raw recap. We talked a little bit about it beforehand. Retribution. So here we go. Retribution, a anarchist whatever team that's trying to go up against the big bad corporation of WWE, who cuts promos about the wrestlers who use WWE money to satiate their terrible lifestyles. Sign a contract with the terrible corporation so they can be able to do things. Then they go in the middle of the ring. They cut a promo to start the show. Obviously, it's Mia Yim, Mercedes Martinez, Dio Madden, Dominic Dijakovic, and it may or may not be Shane Thorne. He's the only person who actually has a good mask that's hiding his identity. They cut a promo. Mia Yim cuts a promo, and then we get the Hurt Business, who, as I said last week, is heels in some segments, but apparently when it comes to Retribution, the baby faces. Then we get the match at the end where T-Bar, Slapjack, and Mace are the new names of Dio Madden, Dijakovic, and Shane Thorne. Phillip, you can give your opinion first, because I got some opinions myself.
Who the hell is Slapjack? Which one is Slapjack? Or do we know, or do we even care?
I think they did say which ones were which, but if you give me a little bit of time, I can go research it.
Dude, look, honestly, man, this isn't working. I mean, with the Nexus, they didn't be like, oh, they've signed on, they have contracts now. Like, no. We knew in the little thing that only one of them would get a contract, which Wade Barrett won the thing. You look back to Aces and Eights. They didn't have contracts, and you know what? I heard somebody. I think I heard Richard he's on In the Click with Huey and Tommy. I think he said Keith Lee should be the leader of Retribution. Even though we took a beating because Bully Ray took beatings with Aces and Eights, for him to get his theme song back, get Retribution for that. I know you'd be down for that. Am I right?
Slapjack is Shane Thorne's name.
Okay, that's absolutely terrible. Would you be down for Keith Lee to be the leader of this to get his name back?
Absolutely not.
Or can you get his theme song back?
Absolutely not.
I look at this and I'm like, okay, Retribution should be like, let's say Cesaro wasn't a tag team champion. Cesaro, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, hell, Shinsuke Nakamura, guys that were supposed to be quasi big deals or mid card big deals, but didn't do anything. That would have been fine. I heard somebody say it could have been Ronda Rousey behind Retribution, for her getting Retribution for the way the fans treated her and stuff like that. I mean, that would have been better than whatever the hell's going on here. Like, I don't know. Somebody said CM Punk could have been the leader of Retribution. That would have been cool too. I mean, it's too early to tell. This may turn around and be very good. We don't know, but right now it's not good at all. Mia Yim deserves so much better. Mercedes Martinez deserves so much better. The others,
Yes, I absolutely hated this whole thing with Retribution. Just everything was terrible. The fact they signed WWE contracts. Why would they sign WWE contracts? They're still cutting the same promos about wrestlers who are under contract, and it doesn't make any sense. And then you go to the fact that they are wearing these dumb masks where, except for Shane Thorne, you can clearly tell who everybody is. And then they have the match, and then you put it on top of that, they're going by stupid gimmick names where it's like, they're not even cool gimmick names. They're just stupid. And Mia Yim, I think, is fantastic. She should be doing something on the main roster. Mercedes Martinez, same thing. Dijakovic, I mean, God help him, because I think Dijakovic could have been something really special because of his size. I thought, okay, he's big, he's athletic, he can get over with the indie crowd and Vince McMahon. I don't know what's going to happen after this. Dio Madden and Shane Thorne, I mean, those two guys are all right, but I really feel like the women and Dijakovic, and God forbid they put some even more NXT people in this thing, this Retribution thing is just dead in the water. And I felt last week on my other podcast that I do, this thing was so stupid. Just write them off, have Drew McIntyre just completely lay out everybody, bring in some jobbers, kill off Retribution. They can bugger off and bring in Mia Yim, Mercedes Martinez, Dijakovic just under their regular NXT names. Would have been a lot better.
I think this is going to go towards Survivor Series, which that's so long from now, a Team Raw versus Retribution. And God forbid if that has to happen, Team Raw needs to win. This isn't like the Nexus. This isn't like the Nexus. Nobody's a fan of this. Retribution needs to lose and somehow save Mercedes and Mia Yim, have them go back to NXT, be valuable contenders for the NXT Women's Championship. Dijak, whatever his name is. Have them go back to NXT, and the other two, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as this Retribution thing just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And I don't know if this is Vince trying to be desperate and just trying to do anything at this point, but I do not think this is what's going to stick. And the thing is, it's like, even if you do bring those people down to NXT and then try to reintroduce them, I am wondering how the crowd is going to react to them because they were a part of this. And this is the thing, is I didn't want people who I really liked, who have a future, to be a part of this because I feel like they'll be affected. And it seems to be the case right now.
Yeah, this was not good. Not good at all.
Something that may or may not have been good, I think that is up for debate, was the Rollins and Mysterio. The feud continues. Seth Rollins is out here with the manila envelope. He says, oh, look, Dominic, a lot taller than all the other Mysterios. Maybe something's amiss or whatever. Even though we all know Eddie Guerrero is his biological father. Just Rey Mysterio. Eddie Guerrero is his biological father, but Rey Mysterio has custody of Dominic. We've already established this in WWE canon.
Really?
That's the whole point of the feud, was that Eddie is his real dad, but Rey Mysterio is like, his dad who takes care of him.
I thought they were just working me. Oh my! I need time to process this. 15 years I've been living a lie.
Anyways, so yes, Seth Rollins does his whole Maury shtick, and he says, we're not talking about Dominic, we're talking about Aaliyah, Rey Mysterio's 19-year-old daughter, who, we speculated that maybe Seth Rollins' buddy Murphy would be big simping, which maybe he is, maybe he isn't, who knows. We get him, or Seth Rollins, saying that Aaliyah is not Rey's daughter, so we're going down this whole route again. Don't know what's going to come of it. Then Rey tries to say, she's just young and stupid. And then she goes off and she gets mad. And then Murphy tries to console her and say, thank you, and blah, 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 blah. Very early stages. It seems though we're still getting this Rollins Mysterio feud. I don't know what this means for Aaliyah. For what it's worth, I wasn't, turned off by her acting. I thought her acting was fine. So maybe that means she'll have some sort of future in the business if she wants to. But, I kind of just want this feud to be over. I don't know if this is like how they write off Seth for him to go on paternity leave. So he's just continuing this feud until he has to leave, but I don't know.
Yeah, Aaliyah, her acting was fine. It's like kind of like the disappointed look in her dad. Like, how could you say that to me? I thought that was fine. Why is this still happening? I thought the cage match would have been it, man. Do we need another? Are they just trying to get to Seth versus Rey, and then Rey actually wins? And is that the end of this thing?
I have no idea. I mean, Aaliyah is the kind of center of the storyline now. So does that mean Aaliyah's wrestling? Does Aaliyah join Seth? This is like chapter 10 of the overall storyline, but this is like a new part of the story. So I'm a little bit intrigued. I'm kind of holding out, speculation about what can and will happen, but I'm with you. I kind of want this thing to be over because there's only so many Mysterio, whether it be Ray or Dominic versus Seth Rollins / Murphy matches I can see.
Absolutely, it's time to end it. Have a big blow off between Ray and what's his name, Ray and Rollins, and let it be the end of it. Or have Aaliyah help Murphy emancipate himself from Seth. Something like that.
Speaking of repetition, we had Keith Lee taking on Drew McIntyre once again. And if Randy Orton can't be cleared, then Keith Lee will be a part of the championship, blah, blah, blah. But once again, Keith Lee doesn't get the job done, even though technically, he won the match, so I guess that's good for Keith Lee, but he keeps wrestling the same people over and over again, and he hasn't been in a feud, even though he's been on the roster for like a month and a half. So Randy Orton comes out, cuts a promo after attacking both guys. I thought the promo was very good. He goes to the ambulance, which was parked by the stage the entire show. He misremembers how many Claymore kicks he took. I think he cussed on TV, which was kind of funny. And yeah, I thought that this was a good, solid Randy Orton promo ahead of their match at Clash of Champions. Gold Rush.
Yeah, you have to throw it in there. Yeah, it does. It does get me a little bit more amped up for it. I'll give my real thoughts about it once we get to the predictions.
Well, we have a number one contendership match for the Raw Women's Championship. Zelina Vega takes on and defeats Mickie James in a short match. Zelina, I haven't really been too impressed by her. I kind of wish Mickie would get a little bit more. But Zelina is your new number one contender. We can talk about the match itself on the predictions.
It happened. Nobody got hurt. That's all we can ask for.
Exactly. So we get not the return of Little Jimmy, because Little Jimmy, I think, came back last week. But anyways, they go, R-Truth and Little Jimmy, that is, on a beach vacation in Florida, and we get the shenanigans ensue. I thought this was one of the better 24/7 dumb segments that they've done in recent history.
I forgot the 24/7 title is even a thing, Brandon. I'm be honest with you.
Damn.
Yeah.
And that means that it could just fade off into nothingness,
into obscurity. Yeah, whatever they did with the hardcore title, that can happen with the 24/7 title. It's over. The fans aren't there in person, so it's time for it to end.
We get Raw Underground actually having a big, quote-unquote, well, I guess literally a big matchup. We get Braun Strowman defeating Dabba-Kato. We had the Kevin Owens show promote the match with KO and Shane McMahon. I think Kevin Owens is kind of on our side, where he kind of sees this as kind of stupid about Shane coming back and blah, blah, blah. So Kevin Owens kind of throws in his little subtle jabs in there, which is always kind of fun to see. We continue on with Aleister Black and Kevin Owens on that side, but we get to Raw Underground, and Braun Strowman beats Dabba-Kato, so I don't know if this means Strowman will be a mainstay in Raw Underground, or this was just a kind of one-off thing for him to do.
This is the most impressive thing he's done in months. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's move on to AEW
Dynamite!
There you go. We get Miro and Kip Sabian taking on Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. In the end, the best man Miro and Kip Sabian get the job done. I thought this was a good match. I'm still holding out to see exactly what Miro can do in AEW. I wish and hope that they're not just a tag team. I hope Miro breaks off and is a singles competitor, whether it be heel or babyface. One thing is, there was like this whole Miro ankle injury thing that he was selling for a little bit, and I kind of missed what happened, so I couldn't tell if it was legit or not. But then at the end, he's perfectly fine. I wish that he maybe sold the ankle a little bit better in the match, but this is what you would expect. Miro coming in, debut match, gets the job done, gets the win. Janela and Kiss, I like the dynamic. I wish they could do a little bit more with them, just not get pile up wins on Dark, but good match. Nothing really more to say.
Yeah, Janela put out a graphic of him and Sonny Kiss being called the Midnight Express, and immediately Jim Cornette filed a trademark for that.
Nice.
Yeah. Cornette has had some very homoerotic things to say, homophobic things to say about this tag team.
I mean, those are two completely different things.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
I don't really pay attention to Jim Cornette, so I wouldn't know.
I've read about it. I haven't heard it. Just it pops up on the feed here and again.
Yeah, because anyways, let's just
move
along.
Move on.
Hangman Adam Page has another match. He takes on Evil Uno. Kenny Omega once again is on commentary for this one. Hangman Page gets the win against Evil Uno. I think people kind of sleep on what Uno can do in the ring because his body type isn't the stereotypical wrestling body type, but really good match. Hangman gets the win here. Kenny still kind of, going back and forth, not really being heel, not really being too babyface-ish, but they didn't do too much in terms of storyline between the two in this one. This was more kind of straightforward. Hangman gets the win, and that was it.
Absolutely. I will say this. Evil Uno's finisher name needs to be Draw 4. Yeah.
Why?
Because the game Uno, Evil Uno, Draw 4. I mean, come on, guys.
I get it.
Last week I had the Yodele Hee Hoo, and now I'm just giving you guys gold. I really am.
Brodie Lee takes on Orange Cassidy to defend the TNT Championship. Orange Cassidy does his shtick early on. Brodie Lee is putting the heat, putting the boots to him for a very long time. Cassidy tries to make a comeback at the very end, gets snuffed out. Lee gets the win, but we get the return of the American Nightmare Cody. Not blonde, not even brown. He has black hair now, which means he's super sinister and he means business. Comes out, attacks the Dark Order. Brodie Lee is able to get away. Then Brodie Lee cuts a very fiery promo after the break, and I thought that promo was fantastic. Maybe a little too much yelling, but overall, I thought the match, the return, and the promo afterwards was all phenomenal.
Yeah, this all hit well with me. Orange Cassidy, they had me believe for a second that he was going to do it. They really did. But all in all, I mean, even just the trying to hit the distance clothesline and him just becoming a sloth and falling down, I thought that was great. Kind of reminded me of New Japan when Okada tried to go for the Rainmaker and Omega just collapsed because of exhaustion. I thought that all that worked. Cody's return, I loved it. I miss blonde Cody. I do. I talked to Cindy. She said he looks like a vampire now, but we'll wait and see what's going to be happening with that. I'm a fan of Cody's return, and Brodie Lee's promo after was exuberant. I love that too.
Because he has black hair and he's more devilish, does this mean we're going to get the Cody heel turn sooner rather than later? Even though it seems like everyone in the Elite is turning heel right now.
I don't know. I think he's still a babyface. He just has a purpose now. He has a real purpose now. The Dark Order hurt him so bad that his hair became darker. So that's all that is.
We get the private party with Matt Hardy. They're cutting a promo. They're kind of talking. Matt Hardy, continuing to give us updates. We get, because Matt Hardy was attacked last week, so he's kind of questioning what happened there. Then we get the full-on return of the Inner Circle. Sammy Guevara comes out, blah, 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 blah. Chris Jericho and Matt Hardy go back and forth. We get Mark Quinn and what's Cassidy's first name? I keep forgetting.
Isaiah Cassidy.
Isaiah Cassidy. There we go. See, this is why WWE doesn't have people have similar names. There's too many Cassidys on the show, damn it. But, everyone kind of challenges Le Champion to a match, but then Cassidy is the final one to challenge. So we're going to get Cassidy taking on Chris Jericho next week.
Yeah, Isaiah said he's going to make Chris Jericho his Le Champion. I'm like, oh, snap, really? That's what's up. This is nice. Usually in tag team feuds that we'll have some singles matches. It'll be nice for them to mix it up. I'm a fan of this.
We get an FTR promo, very similar to what we've been seeing in the past. The FTR saying that they're going to be doing the Brush with Greatness. You get 20 minutes, and if you can't get the job done, then FTR gets the win. Best friends come out, they challenge them to a match, and then of course FTR, being the heels that they are, agree to it at first, but then on second thoughts they back out, and for the betterment of the best friends, because they had the grueling parking lot fight last week, they don't want to put them in more danger, and they back out. Really good stuff all the way around. I think best friends is the logical next step for FTR, and I think FTR further establishing themselves as heels, I think they're doing a good job here.
Yes, the 20-minute brush with greatness rule. I'm a fan of that. You know, maybe we should have that here on this show. I don't know, in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, best friends. You know, they said they went to war, they had a fight, and all that other stuff. It was okay. I'm just waiting for FTR to beat them. That's all.
We get our one women's segment of the show. We get Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa, with Thunder Rosa giving a nice homage to Animal with her face paint, taking on and defeating Ivelisse and Diamante. I thought this was a good, solid match, continuing with Shida and Thunder Rosa being friendly, but you know, they each want what each other has. They want the other person's championship, so I thought this was good stuff here.
Absolutely, as my mother put her finger in the camera. Yeah. I did think the match was good. You know, shout out to the AEW Women's Champion and the NWA Women's Champion getting the job done. I don't know. So are we going to get them going against each other again, or is that just it?
I think it's the next step is they fought each other for Shida's championship. Now they'll fight each other for Rosa's championship.
That's possibly a great idea.
And I hope they build it up, and this is going to be a main event. Hopefully it's, you know, a main event on its own. It's not going to be on that October show with Moxley and Archer, where it's just kind of, you know, a semi-main event.
Archer has the Rona. Is he?
They're still advertising that will be a match.
Oh, okay. Next week we get 30 years of my friend Chris Jericho. Are you excited?
So excited. Just can't hide it.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Is that next week? Is that next week or is that in 2 weeks?
I don't know, but speaking of Chris Jericho, we get a promo backstage where Jericho is reacting to what happened in the ring earlier, and MJF comes along and they're kind of rehashing what happened a few weeks ago. And, I mean, heels being heels, they apparently made amends because each of them was questioning why they called each other a loser, but then they were like, oh, I wasn't calling you a loser, I was calling Tony Schiavone a loser, and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know if this is leading to a feud or a partnership or whatnot, but I think this was much better than the first interaction because it wasn't as choreographed. So I like this one better just because it felt a little more spontaneous.
I did like this. I like this a lot. I chuckled. I was like, ah, ha, ha, ha. This is funny. Them saying the lines at the same time, see Dash, all that stuff. It was great. I loved it.
As you said, Lance Archer unfortunately tested positive for COVID, but when the announcers were talking about it, they just said he came in contact with someone with COVID. So I don't know exactly who to believe here, but they had to scramble around. We were supposed to get the 6-man tag match in the main event this week, but they called an audible, and Jon Moxley defended his AEW title against Eddie Kingston at the after the opening tag match. Eddie Kingston came out, cut a promo. I thought it was a very good promo. Then Jon Moxley came out, and they had a little stare down. I believe Moxley didn't cut a promo after that. I don't think I missed it. But I really like Eddie Kingston's promo. Phillip, what say you?
Yeah, it was good. You know, he said he and Mox used to be cut from the same cloth, but then Mox sold out, went to the land of sports entertainers. Obviously, throwing a shot at WWE and the whole lingo there and the jargon. I thought that was really well. And then you get into the match. Eddie Kingston, he got his opportunity. He never lost a battle royal. Check the rules. Which actually, if I think back to it, he didn't actually go over the top rope. He was on the apron. He climbed up on the turnbuckle, and then he fell off. So technically, he actually really didn't lose. So he finally gets his match, and it was okay. It was decent enough. Mox chokes him out, the same choke that he used beat Brodie Lee back at was that Double or Nothing? I can't remember. Yeah. So all in all, it was fine.
Yeah, I thought this match was good. It didn't overstay its welcome. It was like, I think maybe 10 minutes at the very most, maybe not even. And the real storyline driven after this was we get the Lucha Bros, Eddie Kingston, Ricky Starks, and everyone just kind of standing tall, beating down the baby faces. Will Hobbs tries to make the save. He gets beat down. Darby Allin tries to make the save. He gets beaten down. So I don't know if this was kind of the original plan for what was going to happen at the end of the 6-man tag, but I think they called a nice audible with Lance Archer being out. He, as of this moment, he should be back for the October 14th anniversary show because it is, 2-week quarantine and everything like that. So I think that match is still going down, but the main event segment was all right. I mean, the match itself beforehand and the beatdown was fine. Passed because of everything that happened.
Yeah, I just looked at the calendar. It's 3 weeks from now, so Archer will be back in plenty of time. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the beatdown. It was nice to see my boy Will Hobbs in there. Massive spine buster he delivered to, was it Ray Phoenix? I thought that was great. But all in all the baby faces do get beaten down. So maybe we get the 6-man tag next week with these guys involved in some way, shape, or form.
Quite possibly. So before we get into the Clash of Champions predictions, you're going to hear my lovely voice once again as I tell you about the other podcast that I do. What's up, everyone? It's Brandon. If you love sports and wrestling like I do, then check out my other podcast, Curveballs and Chair Shots. Every Friday, me and my illustrious co-host Dominic Hobson talk the biggest news from the MLB, NFL, NBA, and so much more. We also cover some things we don't talk about here on the Bulletcast, including a weekly NXT recap. You can listen to Curveballs and Chair Shots wherever you get your podcast. Just simply search Curveballs and Chair Shots. Now let's get back to the show. All right, so now let's get into the Clash of Champions predictions. We have a Raw Women's Championship match in the pre-show and the kickoff show. A little disappointing, which I think is going to foreshadow what's actually going to happen. Asuka, the champion, taking on Zelina Vega, the challenger. Asuka's going to win. No bones about it. Phillip, is the championship actually on the line for this? The Bulletcast Championship, the real Bulletcast Championship.
Yes, of course it's on the line, dude.
Because you're not the champion.
Whoa. I did some thinking. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Clash of Champions, TakeOver, Full Gear, Survivor Series. Those are the next 4 title defenses for the rest of this year. You heard it here. You heard it here.
So you're going to go on a limb and try to say Zelina Vega will be the new Raw Women's Champion.
No, I think she'll have a decent showing, but I don't think she's going to get the job done.
All right, we get the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The champions Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura go and defend against the Lucha House Party. They have been teasing a little bit of dissension. Kalisto maybe going to break off and be heel. I'll be honest, I haven't been watching SmackDown all that much, but I would assume maybe they go a little bit more into that to where maybe Kalisto breaks off and maybe a full turn. Who knows? I will continue with the champions, Cesaro and Shinsuke retain here.
Yeah, I got Cesaro and Shinsuke too. I don't see them dropping the titles, especially to the Lucha House Party. Now, they may call an audible and things may change, but I don't think so.
We have the Women's Tag Team Championship. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, the champions, taking on the Riot Squad. Now, just kind of looking over, I don't really have too many title changes on my prediction, so I don't know if I'm just going to force a title change here. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler still retain. I mean, they won. We still haven't really had a full storyline or anything really fleshed out, but I think that's more just the fact that the women's tag team division isn't really anything. So I don't know if you do the title change here to get it onto a quote-unquote real team, but I think Nia and Shayna get the job done and get the win here.
Why are we agreeing on so many things, dude? I picked them also. I mean, I do have a title change happening. I have 2 title changes that I'm predicting to happen, but they're later on the card here. On the rundown.
Well, then let's get on to it. We get the United States Championship. Bobby Lashley defending his United States Championship against Apollo Crews. We just saw this. Well, I guess we saw Apollo Crews. But anyways, we just did see this match. Are we going to see Apollo take back his title?
No, I don't think we do. Wait, no. I'm going Lashley.
I will go Lashley as well. So then we get into the Intercontinental Championship. Jeff Hardy, the champion, taking on AJ Styles. And you might say Jeff Hardy is the interim champion, while Sami Zayn is the real Intercontinental Champion. This is a triple threat ladder match. Phillip, do you have a title change in this one?
No, I don't. I got Hardy retaining.
Well, you got Hardy retaining. You know what? I'm going to force a title change here. I will go with Sami Zayn. Why? No real reason, just to be different, and this is how I lose.
You never know. That could be how you win. That could be how you win.
You never know. So we get the Raw Tag Team Championship match. The Street Profits taking on Andrade and Angel Garza. We didn't talk about it. They won a whatever you call it, number 1 contendership match. Seth Rollins walks out on his buddy Murphy, and so this is how we get the match. I thought Andrade and Garza broke up. Apparently not. They're still a thing. Phillip?
Andrade and Garza. I'm picking them. I'm picking Andrade and Garza.
All right, and I will go with the Street Profits. I wonder if they're still going to do the whole, maybe tag team melding unification bout, and I think the Street Profits hold on and maybe faces are in Shinsuke. Maybe it's Survivor Series to mend the titles together.
That's a possibility.
It is a possibility. Also, we get Bayley taking on Nikki, a.k.a. Thicky Cross, for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Sasha Banks lingering out there in the atmosphere, possibly. Bayley taking on Nikki. Does Nikki have a shot?
I think she'll have a great showing, but I don't think she's going to get the job done, I'm going to be honest with you.
Do we possibly see Sister Alexa do something?
Sister Bliss? Possibly cost Nikki her shot at the title.
I will go with Bayley. Maybe some shenanigans on the outside, but I think this should be a really good match. I'm not going to sit here and say it'd be the best match, but I think people kind of sleep on Nikki's wrestling ability, and I think this match could be a lot of fun. I kind of wish Nikki, they didn't go to this match so many times. I do feel there is something there with Nikki to be an underdog, unlikely babyface champion.
Absolutely, 100%, man.
We get the WWE Championship match. I think this is going to be the actual main event, but it is on the script, so I'm a man of the script. Drew McIntyre takes on Randy Orton in an ambulance match. Phillip?
Orton.
Okay, Randy Orton is not my pick. I will go Drew McIntyre to retain here. It is an ambulance match, so you can kind of protect the champion or the loser in a way, but I think Drew is still getting some momentum. I think Drew wins here.
Absolutely.
And then in the main event on the script is Roman Reigns taking on Jey Uso, cousin versus cousin. Really did like the video package that Paul Heyman narrated about Roman Reigns and the whole Samoan dynasty, that lineage. I thought that promo was fantastic. I think Roman Reigns, not easily, but I think pretty decisively wins Jey. We've heard some rumblings that maybe Roman is going to have a new look, some new music. Who knows if this is where he debuts it, but I think Roman wins, and I kind of hope they give a little bit to Jey and they tell a decent story, short match, but Roman decisively retains.
Absolutely. Roman decisively retains. I think a nice super kick out of nowhere and a splash, and you get the, oh my God, he's going to do it, but he doesn't actually. I think one of those moments will be nice.
All right, Superstar Spotlight. Who do you got? Who do you got? Who do you got?
You did the gimmick. I love it, man. I like that. I'll give it to Kyle O'Reilly, stepping up, becoming the number one contender for the NXT Championship. I'll give it to him.
And I will give it to Ibushi. Haven't seen Night 3 yet, but he has a match against Will Ospreay, and I would assume that match is very good. So been keeping up a little bit with the G1, so after we're done recording, I think I'm going to hop on New Japan World and watch that match. So I will give it to Ibushi, spoiler alert, beating Okada, Night 1, in a good match, but I think the best is yet to come for Ibushi.
All right.
So our promo pick of the week, Phillip, what is it?
Well, it's not an actual promo. I chose the Road Warriors Hall of Fame video package from March 28th, 2011. Road Warriors with Paul Ellering went into the Hall of Fame in 2011. Obviously, Hawk had been deceased for a couple of years at this point. So Animal and Ellering accepted the award, the induction. It was just nice to kind of see, the overall genesis of their career and see how over they were in every promotion they were in. They held every title in every promotion they were in. Only other people to do that are the Dudleys. So that just great tag team, one of the best to ever do it, and just R.I.P. to Road Warrior Animal.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it multiple times. Fantastic tag team. It is a WWE Hall of Fame video, so they're going to put a little bit more emphasis on their WWEF career than what they did beforehand. But great tag team and definitely deserving. No matter what Hall of Fame it is, they should be in it. Now, the match pick of the week. We talked a little bit beforehand with Cena and Edge Untold. I'm going to go with the TLC match from Unforgiven 2006. Cena taking on Edge in Edge's hometown of Toronto. I didn't really realize this, but SummerSlam, the show before, took place in Boston. Then they come back, go to Toronto. So just a perfect mending of, you can't write this any better. And Edge, the mega heel, but super over in his hometown. They go back and forth. Cena, afraid of heights. I don't know if this is his first ladder match or anything of that nature, but definitely something that he had to overcome, and he does some big falls. Obviously, Edge is going to do his stupid things. I'm not going to give away John Cena wins. You know that. It's John Cena, of course. So, a match that Cena didn't do normally, but now he's kind of not perfected, but he's had a lot more ladder hardcore matches later in his career.
Absolutely. This was my first time actually seeing this match in its entirety. I've only seen Edge get chucked off of Cena's arms from the Attitude Adjustment FU back then through the tables. There was a nice psychology to all of this. Cena overcoming his fear of heights. Cena's been in 2 ladder matches, has won them both. So that's he's a master of this, you could say. All in all, I think this was really good. Just you could see Edge, the tears kind of welling up in his eyes for the reception he got to walk into his hometown as the world champion. That doesn't happen all the time. So I thought all of this was great.
Yeah. Damn good match, and go and check that out. So that'll do it for us for today. If you'd like to connect with us on the socials, go and follow us on Twitter. That is at Bulletcast. Instagram at The Bulletcast. Correct, Phillip? Am I right?
Absolutely. YouTube, The Bulletcast. Yep.
YouTube, The Bulletcast. Instagram, whatever. We are on the radio, 99.9 FM KW in Watsonville. If you want to email us a question, send it through the socials, or you can go to bulletcast2sweet@gmail.com. That is bulletcast, the number 2, sweet@gmail.com. We are available iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Spotify, Patreon, basically anywhere you get your podcast. If you're listening to this, you know where to get a podcast at. So also Curveballs and Chair Shots everywhere where you get your podcast if you want to go and check that out as well. So we also have some other things. We got Sydney Into the Stratosphere. That's coming down Friday. I assume she's going to talk about G1 Climax and Impact and everything.
It's coming on Saturday. It's coming on Saturday.
So
and then
stay tuned for that.
Sunday, you and I come back for the Clash of Champions recap. Hopefully one of us will be the champion by then. So until then, this has been Phillip. My name is Brandon Tanguma. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to listen to everything else, and goodbye and good night, and bang, and yeah.
In my eyes, we are the elite, and you are the weak. No matter how hard I fall, I'll get back up on my feet. Red alert, this is gonna hurt. When your face is in the dirt, you'll know your death is what I seek.